Hello, folks. This is Justin McDonald here. I am super late to the game today, but you know what? It's more important to me that I do this late than do it never. And it's a good quote. I will see if I have some time near the end to explain just why it is that I'm doing this so late today, but hey, we don't need to put too many feelings into this. Let's see if we can get you some results. And today, I have a quote that comes from an author of a book that I will say I don't even recommend the book necessarily. I'll tell you what the book is shortly, but I don't even recommend the book. I know it's shocking to hear, and sorry, Mr. Pete Blackshaw. You wrote a really good book. I actually really like the book. I'm still kind of reading it, amongst a few others, but I probably would have been finished with this book months ago if I'm not already reading other books simultaneously. It doesn't mean it was a badly written book. Some badly written books are just not our fault, are they? Because if you're just like kind of stuck in a book for, I don't go into a tangent, for a few weeks, months, and you're just stuck there, people might think that they're like stupid or like they're not like good book readers or literate. It's not true, actually. And this might be something I've heard from like Ryan Holiday or somebody that's like in that circle, and it had more to do with like if the book is like something where you're struggling with, like it's taking you like again weeks or months to get through it and you're stuck, then the book sucks. What can I say? Like the author didn't do their job to get the reader to engage and finish the book. Maybe it is the way it's written or laid out or typeset. It means a lot. Um, a lot of people that read things aren't readers. A lot of people that write things aren't really writers. So that's something we'll save for another time. So, uh, what the quote I have here is that today companies can either let others tell their stories, which brings the risk of miscommunication, exaggeration, or even manipulation, or can preempt or at least neutralize such moves by explaining the facts themselves. So again, today companies can either let others tell their stories, which brings the risk of miscommunication, exaggeration, or even manipulation. Or the companies, can preempt or at least neutralize such moves by explaining the facts themselves. So, who do we know in recent times, love them or hate them? I'm going to lean on a lot of people more in the second part. But look at Donald Trump. Look at Donald Trump when he was president, especially, and his tweets and all that. Again, love him or hate him. I already know what most of your answers are, but I'm just pointing out the fact that he was a brilliant example. Remember, I said brilliant example. He's a brilliant example of both sides of this, if you think about it. Because maybe how the media and mass media is set up. Of course, he was able to do the thing that others do, right? We don't need to go there, but like, there was a certain way I think we could study Donald Trump in the sense that, like, he was able to like neutralize and preempt a lot of things that were happening to him on the political trail and all these other things, because like in a sense he was able to like tell the story, I guess you could say, before others could do it. It was just maybe his way of manipulating the system or whatever it could be, but like I just feel like in a sense, I could be wrong, that he had this like weird way to do something like this. If you were to consider like his last name a company, um like it was probably like right before like the rumors would spread or whatever it was. Like it was like he or in his cohorts in his company were able to like paint the picture first. There's a lot of better examples maybe than that. And I'm trying to think of an example that could kind of bring it home for you that is listening. And it just has to do with really like sometimes being like having the platform and kind of being like not necessarily authority, but you like through like stories and like having it on the right platform and timing could really position yourself differently. Like let's say if we want to get Mr. Kennedy, Dan Kennedy, on this issue. Speaking of presidents, right? Different Kennedy. Dan Kennedy and maybe his buddy Adam Whitty there, both that are really they're really successful entrepreneurs, but they're also really excellent authors, is what I wanted to say. And something that they would do, or something that Dan Kennedy would do, if you were in the school or on the planet Dan right now, you would want to create a book, some type of book, a book commercial or a commercial. And in the sense, like what you're doing is like you're able to like kind of present a story in front of the public before these rumors spread. So like one way you can kind of like stomp out and smother out some of this, um, miscommunication, exaggeration, and manipulation, what could really like slice that in half or vaporize that is if you were to have a story set in place first. Because people will often put a lot of power into books too. And it's not saying like go and lie and print it in a book. No, but like a book is a powerful marketing tool. And it's such a powerful marketing tool that people will take a book as a source of authority. So often cases, if people are just like trolling and saying mean, awful, hurtful, disgusting things about a company, if a company can position itself as a source of authority by not like in a forceful, messed up kind of way, but if they were like, if they had a book, an infomercial, a brochure, a series of brochures, or commercials that told stories. Now, I feel, maybe I could be wrong, that that would really be the best way to maneuver yourself in a way where it's like they can't hurt you. If you do that, right? Let's say you do that. Now, let's say the people that are manipulating you and miscommunicating the message and exaggerating whatever the source may be, or whatever the problem is. What comes to mind? Well, you know what comes to mind? And this book was written probably right around the time it was emerging. Because it was like 2007 or something. Yelp, right? Yelp reviews. Yelp was really, I would say, big too, like especially like in 2010, 2011, 12. Like, I would say plus or minus 5 years in 2010. So you go back a few years before 2010 and you go like 5 years after 2010. And that whole like 5 to 10 year window right there, or however, whenever Yelp was first a thing, would be a very big part of this. Is where others can tell their stories, which are like mini testimonials, and exaggerate their bad experience, manipulate the system by having bots or having fake accounts, even competition manipulate a false review and miscommunication. So this all of these three things right here can be very easily exploited on something like Yelp. And if you're not out there defending your business in some way with a positive marketing message, what do you think is going to happen? If you're not making any effort at all to at least address the issues, which is smart if you can do it and brave, if you can stand up to each one of those things and then state, maybe like in some kind of bullet form fashion, like all of these exaggerations and miscommunications and rumors and manipulations, like you can address these in such a way too. So you could position yourself as authority by having a really nice piece of marketing material like a book, a commercial, a book commercial, infomercial, or whatever you want to use, in a sales letter, any form of communication where you're able to tell your story, explain what it is you do, why you do it, who you like to serve, what problems are you trying to solve. You know what I mean? When you're answering those questions, all these naysayers over here, all these people that are causing the business harm, are going to become less and less relevant and have less and less power to actually um, like bring down and destroy a company just based on baseless comments. I'm just gonna make sure we're still going live here because I know that sometimes things can get screwed up. Yes, we are definitely still live. I don't think anybody is probably watching this live, and that's okay. And even if anybody is, or was, thank you very much for watching this live or after it's live. And I also apologize in advance that I won't be able to respond to your comments as I'm doing this live because of a few reasons. As you can see, my hands are full. I have a book and a cup and a saucer in my hand and a marker, so I don't have more hands to be able to type. It would be disruptive in the flow of what I'm trying to say, of course, if I were to stop and answer somebody's question because my mind, at least the way it works, is I can't really multitask like that. I mean, I can, but I can't give my full potential and self by like simultaneously doing something with my muscle memory and typing and trying to deliver a message to you that is important. So, if you do have a comment, feel free to leave it. I will respond to it. I will respond to your emails. Too, if you would like. Again, if I've never given you the email address, you should be able to find it somewhere. But it's Justin McDonald, JustinMcDonald, USA @gmail.com. And of course, you could follow me on, I probably, there's an option obviously on Facebook, but if you go on any of the other social media platforms, such as YouTube or Twitter, you'll find at results required. At results required is where you're going to be able to find more stuff that I do if you're interested. And those are more avenues to where you can find um, ways to collaborate, communicate, and I like to hear from you guys and girls and see what your ideas are. See what I can do to better improve what I'm doing here. Or maybe you have a question or a business question, or maybe you're stuck or something and you want me to elaborate on something, and maybe we can make that into an episode too. So let me finish what we got going on here, and then maybe I'll reveal a little bit of some personal stuff that happened today. But I don't know. I don't really want to. I don't really want to use this platform to like air out any kind of dirty laundry or anything. But I do want to like kind of go over a lesson of adversity um and adversity and consistency, and like moving forward and stuff like that. Like might be part of this lesson at the end if I can figure out a way to segue into it. If not, just just I'm just rolling with it. Just like I feel like it's more important to do one of these late than not do it at all. And I'm gonna try. I'm gonna really try the best I can to do this every day. So if I do this every day, just know that there's gonna be some days where I am. It won't be perfect every time. Let's just say that I'm gonna have some days where I'm just gonna have some unusual days. I might have some days where I don't feel like I want to do this too, and that's too bad because I'm just gonna do it anyway. Hey, there's gonna be days where you don't want to listen to me too. It's okay. I really like doing these. Sometimes I wish I did them sooner, but it's okay. Um, it's really giving me a chance to kind of flex that muscle a little bit too. Um, it's one thing to like learn and read and study and like marketing and marketing materials and all these great things, but it's another to like implement and like try to help others and teach people this craft too. Um, and as I get better with it, things will change, and I will change, and I will change the world, and I will do everything I can to make it a better place to do business, and equip the people that listen and follow me with certain kinds of tools and like things that they can put under their belt and know that like even though like technology is going all kinds of crazy places and you're going to all kinds of crazy places and there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening right now and the economy sucks and this and that and this COVID stuff and like all these other trickle down things and it's just stuff's not going right for people, and this is like kind of my way where I can bridge the oh crap, now what do we do with the successful. And I know it's kind of a tall order and a long shot for some of you, but like we really got to start with having like we were talking about yesterday, burning desire and a plan of action. So I really do feel like if you want to take the best control of the situation here is definitely having some kind of tool, book, a marketing tool reference to be able to like share your side of things on such a platform, and that will definitely reduce the risk of having this kind of stuff happen. The book I was referencing, by the way, was Satisfied Customers Tell 3 Friends, and Angry Customers Tell 3,000 Friends. Running a business in today's consumer-driven world. And again, Pete Blackshaw wrote an incredible book. It is dated. I don't recommend it for everybody. However, if you're equipped with knowledge and open mind of being like or like you have like the open mind of like reading something and being able to like appreciate and like acknowledge, I guess you can say, the time period it's from. But if you also have like marketing principles and ideologies already, it makes a book like this, like I'm just saying, like a little bit easier to consume and kind of like mine out the little nuggets in it and stuff too that are almost timeless. And I mean, the title itself explains this quote, and the title itself, well, yeah, the title itself explains what this book's all about too. And when you look at marketing as being really word of mouth, and advertising is really just supporting the word of mouth movement in marketing, then this book is timeless because it's true. Satisfied customers, they might tell a couple of their close friends, but if you make them angry, they might post on social media and tell the whole world about it and really bring down a company. It's happened before. And the way businesses and companies were able to respond to it, like the amount of time, the level of intensity, um, just like the customer satisfaction and all that stuff, and very thoughtful, risk taking behavior that got a good response. But a lot of companies aren't worth, like, they're not like putting enough energy into that. They end up like suffering a lot because of that. So I'm not really sure exactly where I got this from in the book. I don't feel like that's more. I don't think that's really necessary, but it's a good quote regardless from this book, and I think it actually tells kind of the story of what this book's all about too, which it is too. A lot of it is kind of combating this phenomenon here, which still goes on today, right? That's why I brought up a former president and Yelp and the importance of having the right kind of marketing tools in play, which are often going to be baked with stories and not just like product feature. Um, so just to go into something a little personal, today I did actually try to get like a regular job, and it kind of worked out, and then it didn't because like they hired me for something, and then they ended up like once I got my foot in the door and started working, then the position was actually a whole different one, and then they made it seem um like instead of the job that I applied for, that was like, hey, it'll just take a little bit of time and 1, 2, 3 steps. It was more like this entry level position or whatever it was like a job that was like gonna be my title for a while or whatever, and it just all that didn't rub me the right way, um and the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because like the adversity of that and everything that could have gone with it, it could have gone a lot worse. And um, the way I handled it, I probably, a lot of people probably wouldn't go and do like a Facebook live or whatever live like after something like that happened, but um it's so important to me that I'm able to position and brand myself in such a way, and I want my story to be presented in such a way to certain kinds of people, it's so important to me that whether or not I'm getting paid for it or whatever it can be, it's very important to me that I get the story straight the way I want to tell it and present it, so that way, again, if this kind of phenomenon happens to me, I know that I have a persistent and like a reputation that is, of course, like I said, consistent on on demonstrating like authority, or at least like I have somewhat of a knowledge of what it is I'm trying to say, and I'm doing it on a consistent basis. And even if it's not a book, even if it's not like its own marketing tool or whatever, at least I'm able to take a very powerful proactive measure and defend myself a little bit without extreme force or having to hurt anybody, I guess you can say. I'm able to position myself as not being whatever it is somebody's making up or saying bad about me. Hey, there might be some people that might latch onto that. And that's okay. That's natural. That's the way life is sometimes. But for me, for my solid foundation of excellent people who found out who I was and listened to my message or messages, their response and how they react and how we move forward through our journey is more important to me. And it's so important to me because I know I'm trying to help them out on a consistent level. It's helping them out in such a way that it's not like none of that stuff is really going to even matter in the end. So be consistent with your message, be honest, and make sure you're able to deliver your message on a platform and tell your story in such a way consistently, so that way, like, it's going to be the best way to arm your business of anybody that wants to troll you or say anything bad about you or run your business through the mud. You'll be way too strong for anybody to do that, because you're proving and demonstrating that your company has value, that you're a real business, that you listen to people, you take care of people, you listen to customers' needs, you respond to customers' needs and wants in a professional, effective, productive way. And if you're doing that, then it doesn't necessarily matter what a few people say bad about you at that point. But a few people can say something bad about you, and it can make a huge impact and be projected if they're the only ones saying anything about your company. So it's in your best interest to say something, and make sure you have the right channels and the right means to make sure that your message, your story, is going to be the one that shines, not somebody that's saying something negative. So if that's the case, you need to work on that. You need to have a team, if you can, of people that can help you out, or a partner that can help you get your story in the right medium, so that way, again, if people are saying something bad about you, that it's not going to destroy your business, it's not going to make or break you, because you're consistently telling a certain message that is different and that it's important, and your customers will eventually listen to you. That's all I have to say for you today. Appreciate and thank you very much for coming along this journey and listening or watching or both of this great entrepreneur type lesson that I like to do on a daily basis. Results required. Thanks again. Peace.